Good morning, everybody. It's Chris here from Stern Education with the four majors news update for the end of the week. Friday's analysis on the four majors and our CCC strategy template, starting with the euro against US dollar. In front of me, I've got euro against US dollar on a daily time frame. Let's have a look at the outcome yesterday. Look at yesterday's trading candle. Huge up move, massive up move. Primarily, news came out yesterday afternoon that Greek aid package agreement by the Eurozone, we're looking at about 109 billion euros, 155 billion dollars, or 96.3 billion dollars of lending funding is going to be given to the Greeks, and I think it's going to be over a 30-year period of some sort, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so that's this whole this lending contribution thing came out, and sure enough, we saw both the sterling and euro markets rally. And sure enough, this is what we saw yesterday, a massive up candle. So if you look at extension-wise, so if you look at, this is the start of the uptrend from that downtrend. This is the pullback, and this is subsequent continuation. We're trading thereabouts, just short of the full extension of the initial move. So you can see that that intermediate downtrend now is in play, and that 100% extension will take us to that intermediate trend line. So we could see consolidation at this area. Ideally, we want to see a break and close higher. With the positiveness that's come out the markets yesterday, seen the rally, but this intermediate downtrend is quite a strong one, so it could factor in this this trade. Being Friday, we could see consolidation because it's end of week. It is trading. We are seeing a slight pullback during the Asian market session going into the European session. It's still trading above the 23.6% fib retracement of this initial candle up move here, so as long as it stays above that, then we could see consolidation in that bandwidth. However, if we see a bearish engulfing here, or bearish candle today, could be considered as a bearish harami at a resistance level, potential resistance level, and we could see further downside movement. So just be aware of that. We do have consolidation. We are trading quite close to a prior resistance level in terms of the intermediate downtrend, so we could see a bit of consolidation. But let's see what happens. We could see a reattempt of the 14,400 mark very soon as Europe wakes up, and we'll see if there's a potential continuation on the good news that we saw yesterday. Next up is sterling. Here's the daily chart again. There we go. This one over here in particular, we saw sterling break through that intermediate downtrend line yesterday with the news. Huge up candle. That's coming at a support and a price support and resistance line. If I can just draw a straight line, it'd be great. There we go. We saw a lot of head banging in that area. The previous day candle sitting above that area and then straight through. And what we're seeing now also on this pair is a pullback occurring at the top end of the wick, also with a breakout. The new swing would be in that favor because we saw this bounce here. So this is what it looks like now. If you want to take it from the wick, or you take it from the body, the daily body, depending on your trading style. But you can see that we are now looking at, this is potentially the new upside trend line, and we would like ideally to see price trading above yesterday's trading range to see further movement to the upside. Let's see what happens. We end of week, so could see consolidation. Let's see what happens when the European session gets down and takes in all of what happened yesterday. Are we going to see further extensions higher? And if so, we're likely to. Well, we have a consolidation here. There is this one roughly around the just short of the 1400, 16400 mark. We had some pause, some prior resistance in the past at roughly that area, so that could be ultimately our first target. Otherwise, what you can do is use the fib extension. So this is the start of the upcan, this is the pullback, and this is the continuation. So you can see, yeah, the 100% is just off, just above the 16400 mark. We are trading above the 61.8. We could see potentially 61.8 being the consolidation area, if anything, and then the continuation higher. So as long as it trades above this area here, then we could see further extensions quite soon to the upside. Next up is good old US dollar Swiss franc. As I mentioned, this is in pretty much a negative downtrend. You can see that the major trend has been negative. CTC is well extended to the downside. Notice there's no blue. We've had a couple of blue arrows and one or two blue bars, but because we're still trading below price support and resistance and the major trend line, those were null and void. There have been a number of cases for consolidation breakouts. Just recently we've had one, a breakout, a pullback, and a failure. The last 2 days has seen price revert to the downside. However, going into the Asian into the European session this morning, we have seen price reverting to the upside. It's almost engulfing yesterday's range. So we are seeing potential support be forged at this area here, just above the 1200 mark. Are we going to see another consolidation below a previous breakout? So in this consolidation range, moving to the downside. Notice this is a swing low, so if you look at the smaller things, we're looking at potentially that being the squeeze as it stands now, with yesterday's lower swing. So if you take that in consideration, we are being squeezed now between a price support and this intermediate intraday. So we have the major, and if you take the smaller time trend line, we could be looking at a squeeze, possibly a breakout either side. So hang on, we could see, we need to see a close lower than the open of this prior candle here. So 81.26, if it's trading below 81.26 going into the US session, then we could see further extensions lower. CTC is in our favor for downside movement. We just got to break below this prior support area here. We do get that, then we're looking for further downside movement. If we get a bullish engulfing, then we could be obviously looking probably at another attempt at 8300 quite soon, or the major trend line. Okay. The last pair of the day is the US dollar Japanese yen, and we saw continuation to the downside. We have seen a break of a major support area recently. I'm just going to put that in so you can see it, and you can see the overall trend was negative, and we've seen lower highs being forged, which dictates downside movement. You can see the CTC is pretty much red, bar a couple of days during the course of this year where we have seen blue. However, this one in particular being the intervention that failed to stack up, and we saw price reverting to the downside. But we had 1 or 2 days, but because they're trading still below the major trend, they have still been classified as bearish. And recently we had a breakout, we had a slight consolidation, and then because of the news prior and yesterday's news in particular, we've seen price revert to the downside and broken through the previous support and looking at potentially the 7700 mark being the next target. We've seen a slight pullback over the Asian market trading session going into European this morning. We've seen a pullback. However, it fails to pull back and trade higher than the prior swing here at what's this, the open at 78.82. Then we're not going to see any further extensions higher for this pair, because we need to get above this, and you can see the CTC is well extended to the downside. We do have an all system go for further downside movement. So this is the start of the down move. This is the slight pullback, and that there will be the continuation. So you can see that there's still further price moving forward. That's even if I zoom straight out, you can see that there's potentially 76.30 on the charts for this at the 100% extension of the initial move. So we have broken through the 23.6, 38.2 would be the next one, 50 is potentially another target, 61.8 at 77.50, and then way down here at 100%, which would take us just below the 76.30 mark. So there could be extensions. If we don't see bullish engulfing and we don't see price breaking higher than the price swing here, then we could see a continuation to the downside. With this swing low, this has forged another trend to the downside, and quite a strong one because the momentum break was quite strong. So you can see it's been pushed, and we could see further negativity. This consolidation to the upside, failure to find support here would see a breakout, consolidation, continuation pattern occurring. That's it, guys. Hope you had a fantastic trading week. There was a lot of scope for a lot of profit to be taken this week. A lot of our students did do exactly that, utilizing the strategy, and congratulations to you guys. There is still further signs for movement after the breakouts that we saw yesterday, especially with the euro and the sterling. So look for consolidation, possibly before we see further extensions higher next week, to see how everybody takes this news on board. But just please follow the rules of CTC, which will give you a better understanding of price movement. It is a lagging indicator, and therefore you won't be triggered into any trades prematurely, which is a great benefit when you're starting out trading. So, and just back that up with great money management, and you'll be in for a winner. So I hope you had a fantastic week. All you guys who made profits this week, well done. Big congratulations. Pat yourselves on the back. Those who haven't, need to work on some areas, please let me know. We know our email address, and just work on it. You got to be patient. But as long as you follow the rules, look up for support, resistance, trend lines, breakouts, trend direction, daily time frames, and then utilize what the daily is telling you to look at potential trades intraday. Don't trade against the trend unless we're seeing a lot of momentum in your favor. So that's about said. Hope you have a fantastic weekend with family and friends, and most importantly, trade serenely.